you're in the middle of now. And Kevin, when we hear from you, we'll learn more about relationship management so that we can have happiness with our relationships, because we'll be more knowledgeable about how to interrelate with people. So with that, I would like to welcome Kevin Egberith up to tell us a little about time management. Time management, Kevin Egberith.
Thank you. So yeah, tonight I'd like to talk with you guys a little bit about time management. So imagine with me for just a moment a train, and there's 24 golden boxcars. Golden. 24 because there's 24 hours in a day. The question is, what are you going to fill those 24 golden boxcars with? The reason that they're golden is because whatever you put in each one of those boxcars is priceless. Priceless. You see, each little bit of time that you put in there is a part of your life. We only got so much life, we only got so much time on this earth. So what you spend in one of those golden boxcars is going to be a part, an important part of your life that you're expending out. When I was a young man, I lived with my grandparents for a little while. And I would take my paycheck and come home, and I would sign the back, and Grandpa would cash it. He'd keep the money in his billfold so I didn't lose it. And whenever I wanted money, he says, you just come and let me know and I'll give you some money. So I would go to Grandpa and I'd say, Grandpa, well, there's this new CD out and I really want to get it and it's just awesome and I need 20 bucks. And he'd say, okay. So he'd be slowly, very slowly digging out his billfold. He'd say, so what's on the CD? And I'd say, well, it's music. He says, oh, okay. Is that kind of music not on the radio? I said, well, not all in the same place, but yeah, it's on the radio. Oh, okay, so he finally got his billfold, so he's very slowly, he's kind of looking through it. And he would ask me, he would say, so the CD is $20? And I would say, yeah. And he'd say, okay, so let me ask you this. He said, so the CD is $20 and the radio's for free, but you still want to get the CD, right? And I said, well, yeah, I want the CD. And he'd say, well, okay. He said, well, let me ask you this. Is that CD worth 3 hours of your labor, of your work? It got me thinking, because back then, I had terrible jobs, and I wasn't making very much money. So it was 3 hours of hard labor, unfun labor, like I did not enjoy it. And I would think to myself, no, that CD is not worth 3, and with taxes, probably 4 hours of my labor. It's not worth that at all. So back then, Grandpa taught me through asking questions to value my money. It made a profound impact on my life to learn young how to adequately value money. And what I'd like you guys to do today is to just begin to place a value on your time. You've only got so much of it. And if you squander it on Facebook, if you squander it on, well, I don't want to offend anybody, but whatever might you squander it on. So if you squander on it, it's just gone and it's just wasted. And we hear these sayings, people say, time just flies by. I don't know where the time went to. And a lot of times people are in a habit of squandering time. They wake up one day and they say, what happened with my life? Where did it go? It just kind of slipped by me. You see, time management is really life management. And life is just a specific amount of time. Time management is not just about cramming more work into an hour of time. That's what a lot of people mistakenly think. So they see that time management book, they're like, yeah, I could probably use that, but I don't want to do more work. So they let it go by. Sometimes people's place of employment will offer time management course or classes for free. And say, well, sounds good, might add some value to my life, but I don't want to cram more work into an hour. So they mistakenly think that it's just all about working hard, striving hard, and that's not really what time management is all about. You see, a really important part of time management is you must schedule your happiness. You've got to schedule your happiness. It won't just happen all on its own by accident. So if you take a look at our inspirational quote tonight, happiness is not something you postpone for the future. It is something you design for the present. Schedule it for your present. Schedule some happiness into every day. Schedule some happiness in the middle of your workday even. You've got to get it scheduled or it won't just happen. So how does this look? Well, you write in your calendar. You write in your day planner. Maybe you're going to go for a walk after work. It's going to be a time where you hold your spouse's hand and you connect with them and you go for a walk. Wherever you love to walk, for me it'd be by a lake, by a river, any place where there's water. Now you schedule it. Now what does that do to the brain when you schedule that? So you're right in the middle of something, you're doing some paperwork, you're shuffling something around, and then all of a sudden, oh, I got something I got to do now. It's time for my happiness. So you go to that lake with your spouse, holding their hand, and your whole mindset, your focus is, this is about happiness. Now when you put your focus on happiness, what do you find more of?
Happiness.
There you go. There you go. So when you schedule it, you find more of it. But what you focus on amplifies. So you schedule it, you schedule it, you schedule it. A lot of times in our work, we know from efficiency experts that when you're really working with your mind, so if your type of occupational work is with your mind, you're the most effective for an hour at a time. Then you really need a break, 10 or 15 minutes, change of events. Now, most of our workplaces don't do that. You got to work a couple hours before you get a 15-minute break. So how do we translate that into a rigorous work schedule? Well, work for an hour, plan 10 to 15 minutes of something that you really don't think of as work, but the boss would. So you're maybe responding to some emails, you may be collaborating with a coworker, but in reality, you do enjoy visiting. So it's enjoyable for you. So schedule those breaks, and it will help to keep your mind fresh. Let's go back and talk a little bit about work. Hard work is when you don't do the little tasks when you should have. And now they're all piled up against a deadline. That's the definition of hard work.
Wow.
And stress, and anxiety, and discomfort. There's an interesting book out called The Tyranny of the Urgent. And it talks a lot about just that happening. If you don't schedule your life, your work life, if you don't schedule things in your marriage, time with your spouse, time to learn, you're going to have all these urgent things coming up because you didn't take care of them when you really probably should have. Now they're all piling up and you just have to go, go, go. Put out all these fires. So if you've ever felt like, man, my mind is just scattered, all these things pulling and vying for my attention, and I'm scattered all over the place, you might need to practice some time management. An analogy of time management, if you picture a fish tank, and you've got some big rocks, and you've got some smaller rocks, and a bunch of real small rocks that look about like sand. And in order for that to all fit in the fish tank, it has to be perfectly ordered. So it's very much like a puzzle. And so I recommend that you take the big rocks, the ones that are kind of sharp and they got weird edges, because they have to line up just right with all the other big rocks. And you put those in the fish tank first. Those are the big things. Those are the really important things that you want to get done in your life. And I don't mean necessarily at the end of your life. I mean, you want to get that done. So what are those big things? Telling your family that you love them. I mean, especially as guys, we forget to do that. And it's so true. So why wait until your deathbed to tell your family that you love them? Spending time with your family, spending time with your spouse, meeting their needs, finding out what their needs are, learning to resolve conflict. These are all the big things that really make life worthwhile. And as you begin to place those things those rocks in the fish tank, it creates an order to it. And so you can get so much more. So you get the big rocks, and then they have to line up just right. And then you get the little bigger ones, and then you get the little sand, and you can fill in that entire fish tank. So what does that mean? You get so much more in that fish tank by having order. Order. We can get so much more done in life, not just hard work, happiness and joy and building relationships and growth and learning, contribution and significance. All the wonderful things in life we can get done if we manage our time and create order. What are some of the things that we really want to order in our life? Getting work done has to be done. Being effective at work has to be done. But if you really manage your time properly and really well, you'll have more love, more happiness, more excitement, more joy, and more enthusiasm. And that is what I want for each and every one of you guys. I encourage you guys to share this with some of your friends or your family members. I think it'll add to their lives too. And remember, what you make happen for others, God will make happen for you.